Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Steph.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve. I must clarify that. New
Yes,
Year's
it is.
Eve.
It's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And we are ready to do our third episode of Writing Sucks, but I Love It. You
Woot woot.
ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get started.
All right.
You start. You had the question.
Oh, it's only the third episode, and you need to tell me what to do. Oh, lovely. So I guess today's conversation is aimed towards research.
Research.
Yeah. How do you do your research for when you write? Because I do it one way, and you might do it a different way, and I was just curious.
Well, I do lots of research and it depends on the what it is that I'm researching. Let's clarify your question first before I just start randomly on. Is what do you mean by research? Are you meaning like researching for writing techniques or researching stuff for the story or researching specifically on the words or how you want to describe things? Like, what kind of research are you researching out of me?
Good clarification, actually. I'm more around like your story. Um, what research do you do when you're going
Plotting.
to plot your story and find your inspiration, your creativity side? Do you research like information about just taking a subject in hand here, like witches or something? Do you
Mm-hmm.
research that aspect?
Mm-hmm.
Do you research other things? God, I'm terrible at this today, but like just school systems. I've done it. I've researched school systems because I've written stories where I've had school systems, and I must think about that. I've researched military stuff. I've
Yeah.
researched all sorts of stuff in that regard. So I'm just curious, like, where do you get your info? How do
Google.
you Google, Almighty Google? But like, do you document this? Because I can imagine you
Absolutely.
documenting this and not just going, "Oh, that's interesting." Next.
Absolutely, I document things. And guess what? I keep the documents and I archive
Oh
them
my
when
god.
I'm done. I don't delete them.
I feel insulted. You actually think I document my research.
Oh. Well, we're different with that.
Oh god, yes.
We're so different
Thus,
in all areas.
hey, we each have our writing method, and it's brilliant, and
And
I
I
love that.
respect that.
And that's why I'm asking the question, because I kind of figured your research mentality might be different than
Oh,
mine.
very much so. I can tell right now. First of all, I document things.
That this really does feel like a therapy session, because I'm laying down right now on a bed and you're sitting there looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, this is the therapy session.
And how does that make you feel?
Judged.
You're not being judged.
Sure.
Not
She
that
judged
much.
me about deleting, guys. She judged me about deleting.
Well, yeah, absolutely. How can you delete stuff?
Easy. Delete.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm not having this
No,
conversation
no. If
with
we
you
if we
anymore.
keep going through this conversation, we'll just keep going down that rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole I want to go down
Is
is your
research.
research methods, because I know mine, and I can tell you that later. But what are yours?
Would you believe me when I say that my research has different levels depending on where I am in the story?
You have different rabbit holes?
Not rabbit holes, different levels. Level.
Yeah. Okay. She has different rabbit holes, guys.
Not rabbit. Actually, sometimes it does feel like rabbit holes. I just hit a topic and then I just go down and down and down and
Do you
down.
ever
And
shift?
Oh yes,
You
absolutely.
see,
And
rabbit
then
holes,
and then
guys.
I asked myself, how the hell did I get here? What was I doing
She
first?
has rabbit holes. Some of them are rabbit cities, apparently.
So yes, different levels for my research. So I guess you want to start with the beginning.
We can start wherever you want to start.
Let's start with the beginning since it makes more sense. Because it's the beginning, right? Can't skip ahead. Anyway, when I have a story in mind, like the recent one that I've just made, um, what I do is, as part of my outlining, is, what, like, so with the current story that I have, the one that we talked about, the witch doctor one,
Mm-hmm.
um, is okay. Already have in my head all the ideas that I want. I know what the character, like the background that I want, what they look like, what the environment's going to be, etc. So I start putting all that information in first, do like a big brain dump, and then I organize the brain dump based off of like, okay, location and character and story and etc. So I go on to the store and to the location. Okay, well, I know that I want them to live in a place where they have access to both the sea but also the forest. And so I would research being like, okay, well, what are locations that are, because I want them to be in Canada, what locations would be good where they can have like that foresty like dampness,
Um,
but also have the ocean.
okay,
And
well, the ocean sort of limited you there, but
oh, but
like
I found a place.
foresty is like everywhere.
I know, but I found a place.
Not Toronto, but
And so then I'm like, okay, great. And so then obviously I want to create my own town. I don't want to be, but I base it off of a town's examples that was able to find
Why Vancouver?
because that's what it was suggested
Why not
as one.
Newfoundland or Halifax or
I like
PEI?
I like the idea of Vancouver because there was other research aspects as well. Because I want it to be one of those large estates that are old from like the 1800s, which means that it has to be a popular place where rich people tend to migrate to during that time.
Uh,
And so it listed a couple of estates examples, and there was one estate that I really liked, and so I started basing off of the place to kind of look like that one.
all right.
And so I would put that all that information under location, and I would also grab like keywords. So that estate had their own website where they talked about like the details of the estate and the history and stuff like that. And I would grab keywords that I really liked when they were describing the place. So I would have that accessible when I started writing. So that way, because sometimes I have a hard time describing, especially if it's my first draft. I have a really hard time with descriptions. Um, so instead of like freezing up, I have these words accessible to me right away. So I know like exactly, like not exactly, but I know that that's the way that I want to describe it without having to go into lots of details because I make it very like skeleton draft.
So you're let's just say your research methods are very deep.
Yes, but I don't do. That's the funny thing is that I don't do lots of research on like what the character looks like and stuff like that. Like sometimes if I'm procrastinating and I'm having a hard time like getting inspired to start writing, I do the fun research of like, okay, well, what would my character look like? What would I base them on? And then I go into Pinterest and find these like drawn images and animations of characters and stuff like that, and I'll grab like a couple of snapshots and be like, okay, well, this dude kind of would have similar features. Like I do that when I'm procrastinating when I should be writing.
Okay.
But for the actual story itself, I will do as much research as I can before I start writing, so that way I have that information available to me. So that way when I'm writing, I don't stop. I prevent myself from stopping and being like, oh, I need to research this, or does this actually work, or all that kind of stuff. I kind of do all that research first.
Okay. Well, clearly my research is not like that.
Do tell.
Well, I guess I got the advantage of, I write fan fiction, so the environment is already written. So for, I wouldn't say all fan fictions, the environment is written. It really depends on your fan fiction. In my case right now, what I write, sometimes the environment is there already, like from my current story, the environment's there. But I have had times where it's not there, but I don't think I've done research in that method. Like if I have a question in my brain, I'll go on Google and be like, Google, can you help me? Or if it's a specific fan fiction series that I'm working on, then I will go to that series wiki page.
Ah, the wiki page. Yep.
Yeah, the wiki pages. They are gold mines and yet disasters all at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, some even ask you if you're an adult.
Well, yes, because there's explicit content.
No, it's
No?
the Winx Club one. The Winx Club wiki asks you, "Are you an adult or a child?"
Oh, they're. Oh.
I guess it's because they're
This is
trying to figure
important
out what their
information.
dynamic is. So, anyways, um, yeah, I just do the wiki page and I look at it and I sink it into my brain and it stays there until I forget about it.
See, that's what I don't like about myself is that I forget things. And some of the things that I think about or the knowledge that I've learned, like research, is so good. And I can't rely on myself to remember this
Hmm.
because I can remember the most random things and forget the important stuff or vice versa.
Mm.
So that's why I need to document this, especially if it's something that I really like and I feel like it absolutely needs to be in my story, then I definitely document it.
Oh, that's a valid point. I mean, I wouldn't say I have the best of memories. But also when I do my research, it's not to the extent you're doing it. I think the most research I've done so far is on my current fan fiction for Fate. Um, I had to research the lore of the Dragon Flame, and I did write notes for that. But it's not notes of like this and this and this happened and this is the story. It's more notes of like a brainstorming session, um, where pieces of information are stored on it, yes, but also brainstorming ideas are mixed in.
Hmm.
So like I did the I don't know if people remember this, but in school we always had the light bulb exercise where you had a light bulb in the middle of your page and you had to draw arrows and write information. And it was like brainstorming, basically. A mind dump. I call it a mind dump.
I call it brain dump.
I mean, it's the same thing.
It is the same thing.
But, it's the first time I do one. And it's proven to be quite interesting. I think I got 3 of them on the go for this one,
Oh.
this story. So, and I should probably reference it a bit more than I do now.
It becomes handy.
It does.
It really does become handy. My research patterns and how I document things have changed a lot over the years, especially when my resources and tools
Mm-hmm.
has changed and developed. I think the way that I'm doing it now for this particular story is the most organized and sufficient way I've ever come up with. And I'm like to the point where I'm shocked at myself, being like, why have I like I don't even think this is me.
Mm-hmm.
that's that
You're just
that's
that organized with it right
yeah.
now?
Yeah, and
Mm,
it freaks me out sometimes being like, wait a second, is this really me
yeah.
writing this?
I get you on that. Sometimes you do something and it's like, did I really just do that?
Compared to the Her Sanctuary book that I'm trying to work on, that I've been working on for a long time, and I don't think will be ready for a very long time. I started out with all of my information being recorded on posters on walls.
Yeah, that is a
And
different method right
that
there.
is the biggest research of like rabbit hole I've ever done is for Her Sanctuary. Everything else had been super light, but Her Sanctuary, I really went into the deep end, especially because I became obsessed with symbolism.
Mm,
And so like what are the, so for example the five elements and what each element has as symbols. So for red, for example, so red for fire, for example, it's red, it's energy, it's wand, it's salamanders, it's all these things, it's rubies and all this stuff. And so I try to figure out ways to implement it in my story to, and and all, I will say that I did a huge research on, if for context, it's a series, and the very first book starts in like long time ago, and the last book is going to be in today's time. And so I'm trying to think, how can I make this particular book, the one that happened years ago, determine when exactly in time did it happen, that makes it make sense in like our current history, even though it's all like fiction.
yeah. The,
And so trying to determine exactly the time and also the location
oh.
of where it could happen, I think that that was like a month long
Well, that's a rabbit
research.
hole in its own self because you're
It
going through
is.
like centuries and like decades of things.
And also link it to actual legends.
Yeah, if you're linking it to actual legends, then yeah, the your rabbit holes are splitting up and then combining again in two different spots.
And I think what adds to my obsession of documenting everything, majority of the research that I did for that is gone.
Well, damn.
Because one, the research that I did do was on posters on walls, which, as you notice, I don't have at the moment.
Yeah, they're gone. They used to be down here, but they're
They're
gone.
gone. So I don't have electronic copies of them.
You didn't take photos?
No.
Steph,
I know.
you pressed the delete button.
Not on purpose. I'm sure I have them somewhere.
Just
I
press the
just don't
delete
know
button.
where. And but see, this is the thing. This is research that I did years ago, and it's just, this is one of the reasons why I'm so obsessed of not deleting.
It went poof,
It
gone.
went poof, it's
Delete.
gone. So I do remember some of the information, but I don't remember all of the information that I have found, because I didn't document everything. I just kind of put little notes here and there. And so I'm just thinking of all the information that I did found that I liked, and I'm like, it's all gone. I can't even remember the name of one of the legends.
Wow.
And it's just like, oh,
That would
it's
give anybody PTSD.
right. So one of the reasons why I'm so obsessed with it.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. I would be disappointed by that. I mean, yeah. Shoot. You
So
literally don't remember where you put them?
I I think parts of it is definitely in here in one of the filing cabinets,
Mm.
but there's another half that's in notebooks that I can't find.
And you
And
definitely
I
didn't
know
throw
that
them
I've
out.
ripped some notebooks apart to kind of organize some of my
Oh,
work, and not all of them are in the folders in the filing cabinet.
you know what
So,
you need?
what?
Those like plastic file things. You could slip your notebook page in and you could put it in a binder.
Well, the system that I've gotten better at is working good. Like I said, there's some in this filing cabinet, and now the way that I document things on the and save onto the computer, those are working well with me. It's the me that I'm angry with from like 5 7 years ago,
Mm.
who's thought, you know what, I think I'm gonna pick up writing again, and clearly did not know what she was doing. And now
Well,
me is like, F you, pass me. Why can't you be this organized now? Because I know there's information that you've collected for this story, and now I have to do the research all over again.
or you could find your research.
Oh, it's taking too much time searching for it. I'd rather search for, like, redo the research now than search for it. Besides, I don't like some of my handwriting.
Well,
Not all of it's clear. A lot of it is me going, oh, da, 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 da.
yeah, my writing changes depending on my excitement levels.
Yeah.
Well, don't you like aren't okay, for context for people because they can't see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the wall in your basement where you have this ginormous whiteboard,
Yes.
and in each corner of the whiteboard there's an orange triangle thing.
Yes.
Is that thing to
So I can take pictures of my whiteboard and it gets uploaded onto my computer.
like with your phone
Yes.
and it'll upload it like
It will upload it to whichever areas that I've signed up for. So I've linked it to my OneDrive, so it automatically gets uploaded to my Red OneDrive into my computer. I could also email it to myself to any of my emails.
interesting. I think we need
Yeah.
to have more writing sessions here so I can kidnap your whiteboard.
Oh, absolutely. My sister has been doing that for her projects. For
Interesting.
oh my god, I want to say bath baskets again, but that's not what it's called. Serenity Soaks. We've
Um,
started doing monthly meetings because I have the I have the like organized logic mind. And so she's
you,
coming to use that so she could help organize things.
that's a good choice. Yeah.
But yeah, like that's one of the reasons why I'm now more organized, is because I have these resources now available to me.
So your research, whatever research you write on your whiteboard, you could easily document.
Well, no, I don't do research on my whiteboard. When I do research, I'm on the computer and I put it onto like Word document or notes or OneNote. I've been getting more used to working with OneNotes. I work with it at work now. So I'm becoming more personalized. Sorry, using it more for personal time, like my own one. Oh, I can't talk anymore. My own OneNote here at home. I started using that to write notes, save all of my whiteboard images and my research.
Valid.
The whiteboard is used for when I am plotting and trying to figure out the story structure.
You see, I kind of see myself using a whiteboard in a research, but that's where we differ. My research is done when I'm plotting, and I'm plotting as I research. So it's research that eventually goes into the lore of the story. So it's not research anymore.
Well, I research while I plot as well.
Yes,
But
but
but you're writing it onto the your findings onto the whiteboard. No, you're using your findings to help with your plotting. You
yeah,
don't actually put in your findings, but I put in my findings
yeah.
into document. I see
Like
what you
when I
mean.
did the research for this current story, the research is the story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
it's a important part of the plot. So writing it with the plot is sort of how you go. And let's just note this. You know, I've just started plotting, people.
I got you into plotting.
I've just
Woo!
started. I do not plot usually, and I've just started plotting. and it does change things.
It
It
does,
changes
doesn't
things. I'm
it?
used to just going with the flow. That's how I used to write things, and maybe that's why I got 20 some unfinished posted evictions. However, since I've started plotting, I have about 5 stories that have been written fully and posted, which is quite impressive in my records because I'm not that good at finishing stories. Um, but plotting them also has backfired for me because um,
Oh, there is a thing called too much plotting.
oh, it feels like I've written the story at times, and so I'm not inspired to actually write the story. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So, anyways, so in my bid to plot a story with the thoughts I have to connect my thoughts and my memories of a show to actual facts that are in that like world, and thus I go do my little research bunny, and I find my little plot hole and my little bunny hole. God, what is it called? Rabbit hole. Sorry, guys, rabbit holes. I find my little rabbit hole and I start writing that little rabbit hole, and then my brain goes, "Oh, but what if this?" And so I go into that little rabbit hole and I start saying, "Ooh, but what is this?" And I
Ah.
call that, guys, my Steph brain. And so starts the research of my internal research of, like, what? That's the question you ask yourself. What?
What?
Um, for instance, like, what would the Althea look like under this person? And so forth. And then I start answering my own questions with my mind, and that's what I classify as research in my brain.
That's a different type of research. I would I classify that as
I
research?
don't know. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. I would classify that as part of the plotting aspect because especially when you are stuck on something, it's really good to take a step out of your writing mind and kind of talk to that imaginary super fan of them asking, well, what were you thinking for this? That's what I call that voice, is this,
I
super
just
fan.
call it the Steph voice in my head.
Of like, what were you thinking about this aspect? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just wanted to connect and da 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 and this and this and this and this, and
Yeah,
I
but
end up finding the answers to my problem through that
yeah,
conversation.
but then my brain goes into the question of, well, what classes officially are taught at this school? And so I go down that research hole and I'm like, oh, they teach these classes. And then I'm like, well, how can those be modified? And so like my research is modified, is built in with those. So
Yeah.
I got 2 rabbit holes and they connect in braids.
Mm-hmm.
They spiral together where at moments they connect and then they separate. And then they connect and then they separate. And they connect and separate.
What I'm hearing is another difference between you and I with our plotting and research.